World, this is meteorologist Tim Root with your KLEK 102.5 forecast. And this weather forecast is brought to you by some web hosting and domain names at ozsome.com. Wednesday weather forecast, quite a bit of clouds developing today. Chance of showers and thunderstorms this afternoon near 60. Southwest wind 10 to 15. Clouds and showers overnight about 57, 58 for the low. More rain showers expected tomorrow, mostly cloudy skies in the low 70s with gusty winds. More showers expected Friday as well, highs in the 40s. Jonesboro, that's your KLEK 102.5 FM weather.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Catherine Drew. 2 people have been arrested in a police raid on the Gupta family compound outside Johannesburg. The family have been dogged by corruption allegations and linked with South African President Jacob Zuma, who is under pressure to resign. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has called allegations of corruption against him baseless and insisted he will continue as leader. And French President Emmanuel Macron has threatened to launch military strikes against Syria if it is found to have used chemical weapons against its own people.
It's 9:01.
KLEK LP Jonesboro, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council. It's now time for Community Conversations, a program focusing on the people working to make the Jonesboro community a better place, while offering viewpoints from all sides of the issues. The views expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of KLEK 102.5 FM, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council, or our underwriters or sponsors.
Good morning to everyone out there, and happy Valentine's Day to you on this wet Wednesday morning. You are tuned in to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. I'm your host, Quabila Hardin, and I have a very special guest with me today. Even though today is Valentine's Day, everybody's all in love and all that good stuff, what better day to talk about heart health? As you may or may not know, February is American Heart Health Awareness Month, with emphasis on women's heart health. So we're not going to just talk about the women today. Okay, guys, so you don't have to leave the room. We're going to talk about all things heart health. Risk factors, things that you can do to prevent possibly getting heart disease, things to look out for, signs and symptoms that show that you may be at risk of suffering some type of heart disease. So I hope that you pay attention, stay tuned. My very special guest today is Dr. Andrea Watson. She is from NYIT, which is on the campus of Arkansas State University. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Camilla. It's nice to be here, and happy Valentine's Day to you as well.
Well, thank you. So before we get into our topic of the day, I would like for you to please give us some introduction, some background about yourself.
Okay. Well, my name is Andrea Watson. I'm a family physician. I am from New York. I recently arrived in Jonesboro a week ago. I was teaching at the NYT College of Osteopathic Medicine in Old Westbury, and now I'm here teaching at the Jonesboro, Arkansas campus.
All right, so I'm sure that the Arkansas campus is very happy to have you here. I know it's a bit of a transition from New York to Arkansas.
It is, but everyone's been really nice.
That is wonderful. So we hope that the transition continues to go well for you and that you meet a lot of wonderful people and a lot of students and influence their lives as they go out into the medical field of their choice.
Thank you.
All right, so let's get into our topic of the day. We hear this term heart disease, heart health, and it can be a little broad. So let's try to break it down to help people get a better understanding. First, let's talk about what system is the heart. And the body's made up of many systems.
Right.
So what system does the heart fall into?
Okay, so the heart falls into the circulatory system, and when we think about heart disease or cardiovascular disease, which is mainly considered, we think about the heart and the vessels of the heart.
Okay. All right, and so tell us, now we know that, if your heart stops pumping, that can be very detrimental.
Yes, it can.
Of course, all of the organs are essential, but it's something about the heart. Tell us more how important the heart is,
Okay. Well, the heart is a very important organ. It's a muscle, actually, and it beats multiple times a day. Now, there are 4 chambers of the heart,
Okay.
and the function of the heart is to pump blood to the rest of the body so that the rest of the body can function by being delivered oxygenated blood. So there are vessels that take the blood that has a lot of toxins or not as oxygenated.
Okay.
And then once it takes it to the heart, there are vessels that take it away from the heart and go to the lungs, where it picks up some oxygen, returning it to the heart, and thereby from the heart, we use a great vessel called the aorta, and that takes blood to the rest of the body that is oxygenated.
First, so between the heart, the aorta, the veins, capillaries, and everything else that's involved in the circulatory system are key players. They have to be functioning properly in order to work together to keep the body functioning properly.
Yes,
so if there's some damage, blockage, injury to one of those other areas, then it can affect how the blood gets to and from the heart. So can you talk about that aspect of it?
Okay. Well, say for instance, if you have a blockage in an artery, let's talk about the heart as a muscle and a major organ that is utilized to allow the rest of the body to function. Now, there are coronary arteries that feed the heart. So just like we need food, the heart needs food.
Okay.
So if a part of the coronary arteries are blocked, which is the most common type of heart disease, then the blood flow is not able to the blood is not able to get to the heart, and therefore compromising how the heart functions, therefore not being able to provide the rest of the body with the oxygenated blood that is needed. So high cholesterol in the diet can potentially, or if you have family history of it, can also potentially cause blockage of blood vessels, mainly the arteries, because there's a buildup of plaque. And when plaque builds up, if we had a straw, I would be able to show you what the center of the straw looks like. You can see through the straw, but with plaque buildup, the straw can become more narrow, or the lumen of the straw can become more narrow, which is what happens to the blood vessels. Therefore, you are unable to get blood through the vessels, same way through that straw. And then whatever is on the end of that will be compromised in what it's receiving from the other end.
Oh, wow.
So, therefore, say for instance, it's the blood vessel for the heart. If we have oxygenated blood going in, we have the heart trying to pump. Now it's pumping even harder, trying to get the blood to go through that narrow vessel. And then at the end, it's also still not getting as much as it would have gotten if the vessel was open and they were able to get adequate flow.
So can you give us some signs and symptoms to look for if someone is at risk of having clogged arteries leading to this condition?
Okay. There are numerous risk factors, but one of the common things is, and I'm going to talk about this because I'm keeping it real.
All right.
Diet.
Okay.
Our diet here in the U.S. is not too good. We're making strides in trying to be more healthy, but our diet, fast foods and high cholesterol, high salt or sodium content in our foods, fried fatty foods, that's a risk factor. And along with that comes obesity. So our risk increases for heart disease if we're more obese. Also, lack of physical activity. If we do not move, say for instance, those who like to sit on the sofa and maybe watch TV instead of going out and maybe moving more, then there's an increased risk also of developing heart disease. If we have family history, that's very important. For me, I have family history of heart disease on both sides of my family. So that's a risk factor for heart disease. People who smoke or use tobacco products are at an increased risk for cardiovascular disease. People who drink excess alcohol, are also at risk. There may be certain types of heart disease where men are more at risk for developing heart disease, as well as, let's see, so actually, you know something that I didn't even think of, which we all do have? Stress.
Oh my gosh.
There is actually a type of heart disease that's called broken heart syndrome. And you know that goes along mostly with women in heart disease. And it can come from some stressful, very stressful events that could have caused this type of condition. But it's called a broken heart syndrome, which is a cardiomyopathy, which is a problem with the muscle of the heart.
And I've actually seen pictures where I don't want to call them tendons, but little, and they're not strings. They're something that's around the heart that actually kind of, due to a certain amount of stress, they can tear.
Okay.
That's one picture that I saw. I don't want to call it a string. It's something. I apologize.
It's okay. It's okay.
Wow. Okay, so we need to start changing the way we eat.
Yes.
Moving our bodies more.
Yes.
Try to reduce some stress.
Yes.
And I think if we move more and change the way we eat, that stress might almost take care of itself.
It may. It may.
I've heard a lot of people that love to exercise saying that it's like an endorphin. It increases the endorphins.
It does.
And the oxytocin.
Oxytocin.
Okay. Is that the happy chemical?
Well, right.
Okay. It helps increase those happy chemicals in your body and makes you feel better. Okay. I'm talking to the doctor and I feel like I'm a fish out of water, so please forgive me.
We're just having a real conversation.
I am learning a lot here, so thank you so very much.
You're welcome.
I'm sure this information is very valuable, and I hope that people are paying attention and listening, and they're taking notes, and the light bulbs are going off, saying, "Okay, I need to go to the doctor."
Yes.
Even if you don't feel bad, okay, talk about that. Some people say, "Well, I don't feel bad."
Okay,
but
I'm glad you brought that up, because even though cardiovascular disease is the most common cause of death for men and women.
Okay.
And you would think that since it's a leading cause, that, okay, everybody's going to probably have a symptom. But there are people who have cardiovascular disease that are asymptomatic.
Oh, wow.
So the key thing to do is to make sure you follow up with your doctor on a regular basis.
Okay.
You know your family history. You know your numbers. Now, knowing numbers, what exactly does that mean? So know what your cholesterol is.
Okay.
Know what your blood pressure is. Know what is normal in the blood pressure. Know what is normal in the cholesterol.
Okay.
You know? And then how do you fit on that spectrum? And if things are a little higher than they should be, how can I reduce this? What can I do to play a role in my healthcare? Because it's not just the doctor, but it's the patient. We're a team.
Okay.
So we need to work together to get the patients where they need to be.
Because sometimes the doctors, they're going to look at your chart when you make an appointment. Usually the nurse, whoever takes the appointment, says, "What are you coming in for?" Yes. So the doctor's going to look at your chart and see what you said.
Right.
It's your responsibility once you get into the office in the exam room to say, "Okay, doc, I need to talk about a little bit more.
Right.
Here's what's going on with me." So I hate to say make your doctor, but make your doctor listen to you and do those extra tests within reason.
Yes.
To see what else is going on with your body.
Right.
Because
if you do have a family history, and usually the doctor is going to get a history from you.
Okay.
And the history is not only the history of the reason you came in, but they want to know, what is your past medical history?
Okay.
What is your surgical history? What is your family's history?
Okay.
So that's also going to throw up red flags. Oh, maybe I should look into this for this particular patient because they have a family history of high blood pressure, because they have a family history of diabetes, because they have coronary artery disease or high cholesterol. So the doctor's going to be more inclined to look into those things if you already have a family history and are presenting a certain way.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
We have a Facebook shout out from Reverend Milton Culver. He says, "Hey Doc, and welcome to Arkansas." Well, thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
Message, Reverend. We are live on Facebook, so if you have any questions or comments, or share your stories, please leave us a message, or you can give us a call here in the studio, 870-277-1080. We are speaking with Dr. Andrea Watson from NYIT, that is located on the campus of Arkansas State University, and we're talking about all things heart health. So we've been talking about how the heart functions and some things that can go wrong. So let's talk more about. We talked about the risk factors, and the top ones are your diet, activity level, and stress. And then there are some
habits.
Yes. And then family contribution, family history of heart disease. Okay, so what are some things that we can do, some real things that we can do to prevent, possibly, I'm not going to say 100% prevent, but possibly prevent?
Yes. Well, things that we can definitely do, since we've named some of the risk factors, we can actually change our diet, so eat a more, as it's being said, a heart-healthy diet. What is heart-healthy diet?
Okay, please break that down.
Yes, ma'am. So we can eat more foods that are rich in vegetables and fruits and low fat, lean portions of the meat. Are you okay? Okay. More fish in the diet. More chicken. And you know what? I know some people like the skin on the chicken. You know what? Remove the skin off the chicken, and let's bake it rather than fry it. Maybe grill it instead of frying, you know? So that's an option. So changing the diet. I can go into more tips because my family is Jamaican, and when I do speak to my patients, which we're in New York, but I will be seeing patients here in Arkansas as well, I give them special tips that they can utilize to use natural things to prepare their meals, that will help to decrease the blood pressure. Some other things we can do is exercise. Or I should say move more. I won't say exercise because when we say exercise, a lot of people think that we mean you have to go in the gym and work out, pump iron, but that's not really what I'm talking about. Really, what you can do is move a little more. Say, for instance, you park your car. Instead of finding that parking spot right next to the building, maybe park a little further away from the building and walk some. Instead of taking the elevator, maybe take the stairs. Those are everyday things we can do. Maybe, and I'm sorry guys if I'm saying this and your wife is the one that's using the money, maybe go into the mall and walking around the mall. They're walking, but more window shopping instead of purchasing. And what I like to do, because I had a trainer in New York, is dancing. So dancing is a form of exercise. Actually, it burns about 150 to 230 calories if you're doing a half an hour, which is the equivalent of jogging. So if you like to dance, and it can be any type of dancing, such as ballroom dancing, hustle, or whatever, you're moving your body. So you're burning calories, and it'll be fun. So those things, I think, will be helpful and decreasing your alcohol intake. Women, 1 glass of wine a day. Men, no more than 2 glasses of wine a day. Those who smoke, because the tobacco can affect the blood vessels, maybe cut out the smoking. And if you can't stop smoking or cease the smoking right away, it's okay. Decrease the amount. And then let's move on from there. So Rome wasn't built in a day. All right. But we're going to be moving towards our goal.
Amen. I have been posting a few things. Like I'm making changes slowly. I mean, it's taking a little time for me to really find a routine that's really works for me. But there are things that I have done. Like I've, done the aloe vera water. I've done lemon and mint and lime and, different things in my water to try to help hydrate and cleanse and done a few things. And so I like to use the hashtag forever body. I'm working on my forever body, not just, some people say I'm working on my summer body. I'm working on my forever body because I want to live and be healthy in my 60s and 70s and 80s, hopefully, whatever God blesses me with. So I want to be at full capacity, function at full capacity, or at least best capacity possible. So what about for those that are either transitioning to vegetarian, transitioning to vegan? I'm sure there are a lot of things. There's some people that are vegetarians say, well, I don't eat meat, so, or people that are vegan that say I don't do this, this, and this. Are there some bad choices people do make that are vegetarian or vegan?
Okay. And first of all, I want to say congratulations on working on your forever body. You go, girl.
Thank you.
You're welcome. If someone is transitioning to a vegan diet or more of a diet that pertains to eating more fruits and vegetables, I think the important thing there is to remember that even though they are pursuing a vegan diet, some people may use a lot of oil to cook things, and maybe even butter for things that taste good. I'm not sure. I'm not vegan, so I don't think the butter's in there, but maybe oils. They may saute things. But one of the things I'd like to encourage is to look at what you're preparing, and also remember that you need certain supplements when you're following a vegan diet. So be aware of the supplementation that you require that you may not be obtaining from the vegan diet. So make sure that you discuss with your doctor what diet you're pursuing, and then they can tell you what vitamins you have to supplement in order for the body to function well.
All right, so with that, we're going to take a quick break. So you're tuned in to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We're going to take a break, but don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after these announcements.
You're listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
Have you ever dreamed of doing the impossible? I'm Mark Merrill with today's Family Minute. On December 7th, 1903, Wilbur and Orville Wright changed the world by making the first controlled flight in a powered aircraft. But success came only after years of experimentation, failure, learning from their mistakes, and trying again. The Wrights persevered because they believed in their dream. They were also encouraged by their loving and supportive family. A monument in their honor reads, in commemoration of the conquest of the air by the brothers Wilbur and Orville Wright, conceived by genius, achieved by dauntless resolution, and unconquerable faith. So dream big, have faith, and remember, your family first.
Want to connect with Mark on Twitter? You can. Follow him at twitter.com/Mark Merrill.
Family Minute is made possible by the Kappa Nu Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, a non-profit organization committed to service to all mankind. Kappa Nu Omega Alpha Kappa Alpha on Facebook and KNOMEGA1908.com.
KLK 102.5 FM is giving away free gas in February. That's right, KLK has teamed up with Mrs. Polly's Motivational Barbecue CAB, 2098 South Caraway Road in Jonesboro in the Teletech parking lot, and the Lambda Eta chapter of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated to give you free gas. All you gotta do is tune in to All Gospel Wednesday with Brother Cobbs every Wednesday in February from 11 o'clock a.m. to 6 o'clock p.m. When Brother Cobbs asks for the 10th caller, all you gotta do is call in and say, your life, your music, KLEK. Call in to 870-277-1080. Again, that's 870-277-1080. And you will win a $30 gift card good at any come and go gas station. KLEK, giving away free gas every Wednesday for All Gospel Wednesday in February. And remember, your life, your music, KLEK. KLEK, Mrs. Polly's, and Phi Beta Sigma, we do it for you.
KLEK thanks CJ Pepper and the staff of Life Strategies Counseling Incorporated for helping people through hard times in life such as depression, family issues, stress, abuse, and more. They offer counseling and therapy for all ages, individuals, families, and groups. They are located at 1217 Stone Street. Phone number 1-866-972-1268 or online at lscihelp.com.
The Mu Omicron Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated was established on January 1st, 1977, originally serving Blytheville, Arkansas, and now serving Jonesboro, Blytheville, Osceola, Marion, and West Memphis, Arkansas. Today, the chapter continues to make an impact by focusing on Alpha's national community outreach initiatives such as My Brother's Keeper, A Voteless People is a Hopeless People, Go to High School, Go to College, Project Alpha, Boy Scouts, and the March of Dimes. The Mu Omicron Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated is committed to Alpha's mission of developing leaders, promoting brotherhood and academic excellence, while providing service and advocacy to the community. More information about the Mu Omicron Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated is available at MOL Alphas on Facebook or via email at molalphas@gmail.com.
And now back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
All right, welcome back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We're speaking with Dr. Andrea Watson from the NYIT, and I don't want to mess up the other name, Ortho.
It's the College of Osteopathic Medicine.
Okay, see, I already messed it up.
It's okay.
And it's on the campus of Arkansas State University, and we're talking about heart health in honor of American Heart Health Awareness for the month of February. And I can't thank her enough for coming and sharing some wonderful information. So we've already talked about risk factors and some ways to prevent, possibly prevent. I mean, there's no 100% way to prevent heart disease because there's so many different risk factors involved. Now, I do want to ask this question. We were talking about nutrition options and choices, and even if someone follows all those regimens to a T, are they still at, even maybe without the family history, are they still at risk at getting heart disease?
You know what? I'll never say never for anyone, but your risk decreases.
Okay.
So I know there are certain things, and we're trying to eliminate family history. But say, for instance, cholesterol.
Okay.
The cholesterol doesn't have to be high because of your intake of foods high in cholesterol.
Okay.
It could be genetics, you know, so it's something that could already be a potential risk factor that's there. But we're going to try and work on the others so that our risk will stay closer to 0 as opposed to 100 or 50 or 75.
Okay. I wanted to ask this question. I've seen some debates about water when it comes to drinking it warm or room temperature versus ice cold, drinking it while eating, before, after, you know. So tell us, or maybe help us understand how vital, one, water is to our body when it comes to our circulatory system. Two, the benefit, okay, I don't know if I'm going to ask this right. Okay, the one piece that I read, if you drink it ice cold or cold while you're eating, it could solidify maybe the fats in your foods, and so maybe it's best to drink water before or drink it room temperature. So kind of help us understand this whole thing.
One of the things I like to say to patients overall is the most important thing for me is that you stay hydrated.
Okay.
And hydrated in the sense that, yes, you do drink water.
Okay.
All right. And not the water that has all the extra stuff in there, but water.
But doctor.
So whether it be cold water or room temperature water, as long as you're drinking water. Our body is made up mainly of water.
Okay.
And things function better when the body is hydrated. We're losing a lot of water every day through nonsensical losses.
Okay.
And we need to replenish that which we have given out.
Okay.
You know, so I encourage if your kidneys can tolerate it, at least 8 glasses of water a day.
Okay.
Because water can keep the blood pressure down, it can keep the blood sugars down,
Okay.
it can keep the cholesterol down. It works in hand in hand with other things, but water hydration is very key for the function of the body and for everything else to work together.
Now, oftentimes we get signals that we're thirsty. You know, your mouth is a little dry. You just kind of feel blah. But even if you don't feel those symptoms, should we just try to keep a timer, or maybe say the top of every hour, the bottom of every hour, drink some water? I mean, should we start making it systematic so that it becomes routine? I'm sorry.
That's okay. I think we should make a conscious effort to drink water. And there are some of us who drink coffee, which is getting rid of a lot of the water because coffee is a diuretic. Oh, no. So that means that water is being lost. So we need to replenish the water. So I think that if someone needs a schedule, like say maybe if you can't drink water, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 glasses more a day, then maybe say, okay, every 2 hours I'm going to drink an 8-ounce glass, or maybe every hour I'm going to drink an 8-ounce glass of water. I'm going to make a conscious effort to drink water. But again, with us saying you're drinking water, I don't want the person to be waterlogged either, because again, we need the electrolytes in our body so that the rest of the body's function are optimal as well. You know, so if you need a schedule, then you know what, say at 1 o'clock I'm going to drink a glass of water, at 2 o'clock I'm going to drink a glass of water, but only if that's necessary for the person, you know, because if they purpose in their heart they're going to do it, they're going to find a way to get it done.
Alrighty. And all of this ties into keeping your vessels well, more open, I guess, and keeping the blood more free flowing. And I'm asking.
Okay, well, water lets everything function in the body. So not only does that help with the patency of the vessels, but I think that what we eat also affects the vessels. You know, but I think everything will work together to get the vessels working the way they should, so that we're getting oxygen to the rest of the body's tissues.
All right, so doctor, do you have any statistics for us? I know some people look at statistics like these are just a bunch of numbers. Do you have any statistics that you may can give us to help bring all this full circle? Okay,
about 8 million or 8.6 million women in the U.S. have heart disease. There is about 8 million cases of heart disease worldwide, and 8.6 million in the U.S., you know, of women, just women alone. 1 in 4 deaths for men in 2013 were from heart disease or heart attacks, you know. So those are mind-blowing. 1 in 3 women will, before the age of 65, suffer from heart disease or have heart disease. So that is mind-blowing, you know. Gosh. And this is something that has been eye-opening, more so for me, that there are about 70% of people with high blood pressure. 30% are not treated that have the high blood pressure, and it's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling.
Now, please explain to everyone what effect untreated high blood pressure has on the body.
Okay, if your blood pressure is elevated, which is significantly, repeatedly elevated, then you're increased risk for a stroke and for a heart attack. So if someone now has high blood pressure that's not treated, you're walking around like a ticking time bomb, you know. And sometimes it's a silent killer, because people will think that, okay, I'll probably have a headache if my blood pressure is too high. I'll probably feel really dizzy or lightheaded, more so dizzy, if my blood pressure is high. My vision may be blurred if my blood pressure is high. But you know what? I like to tell patients and students, a lot of people do not have any of those symptoms.
Oh, wow.
I had a patient that came into my office with a blood pressure of 200 over 110. She had no symptoms. And the nurse alerted me because she said, Dr. Watson, just wanted to tell you that her blood pressure is so-and-so. And I repeated it a few times, and her blood pressure is still so-and-so.
Oh, my
so
gosh.
the patient, when I went in to see her, said she had no symptoms. But what she had done was stop her blood pressure med for the past month, and then she was eating whatever she wanted to eat. So, but her body developed a tolerance to living at a blood pressure that high. So she didn't have any symptoms. So some people can have high blood pressure and not know it, and they can be non-symptom or asymptomatic.
Asymptomatic.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that is not good at all.
No, it's not.
Okay, now let's talk about heart attacks. Some people don't know how to recognize it.
Yes.
I was having a conversation with one of my best friend's sisters, and she was kind of nonchalant about it. She had a heart attack, but the symptoms that led up to it was she thought it was indigestion. She thought it was her gallbladder. She was at work and she was feeling achy in parts of her body. We hear the traditional, your left arm, but she was feeling just achy and not well, overall not well. And she thought it was something else.
Right.
And she brushed it off and brushed it off. She brushed it off for about a week.
Oh, wow.
And then she finally was like, she called her mom, I'm in pain. And her mom was like, go to the doctor.
Yeah.
So she ended up going to the ER. And she was like, within a matter of maybe time frame of an hour, they had her prepped for surgery to put a stent.
She had an angiogram. Did she have a catheterization?
I can't remember the full details.
Okay.
She didn't give me full details, but I know she had to have some type of surgery to have something to open up a blockage. And they told her that if you didn't get in here, if you had got in here and maybe a day or so later, you could be in or struggle. It was that bad. And she was like, okay, so then she was up and around, the next couple of days, and
thank God.
I was like, wow. And she talks about it as if it was just, I had heartburn or, something like that. But we have to be more vigilant with our bodies and pay attention to these signs.
Yes, we do. And thank you for sharing your friend's story, because it's so important to know that men and women present differently when it comes to a heart attack.
Oh, wow.
So classically, the men will say, oh, I have chest pain. There's a crushing sensation in my chest.
Okay.
Or I feel like an elephant is sitting on my chest. It's mainly left-sided. It's under the breastbone, or my left arm hurts.
Okay.
It's radiating up to my jaw or my left shoulder. They may feel colds, clammy sweats, and nauseous and dizzy and short of breath. But a woman may tell you that, oh, I just don't feel right.
Okay.
I've had this uncomfortable sensation in my upper stomach, which is like indigestion. She may say, I feel really short of breath and I'm very tired. Now, there was no other predisposing reason. I shouldn't use that word. There was no other reason for the woman to be fatigued, extremely fatigued. So fatigue with shortness of breath and maybe even feeling nauseous may be a sign. Back pain, back pain, upper back pain could also, or mid to upper back pain. What I do like to tell my medical students who rotate with me in the office is that any patient that comes in with any thoraco-abdominal pain, which means chest and abdomen pain, please do an EKG to make sure they're not having a heart attack, Wow. So she presented differently, and women do tend to present differently than men. Even though it's the number one cause of death in both men and women, women and men do present a little differently.
Oh, wow. Okay, so are there if someone feels like they're having a heart attack, we know that time matters. Okay.
Call 911.
Okay.
Please call 911. Don't sit there and say, please forgive me, my family's Jamaican. Oh, it's just gas.
Oh.
You're having some really severe chest pain and in the center, upper abdomen, and it's lasting longer than 30 minutes. Oh, it's just gas. No. Make sure it's not gas.
Okay. So please pay attention to your body.
Yes, please. Please do.
All right. So are there any more tips that you would like to give us, some more information that you would like to share? We want people to be as informed as possible. Oh, another thing we talked about off air. I apologize, I'm going in circles. People don't go to the doctor as often as they should, out of fear for whatever, maybe lack of resources. So after you give us some more tips and information, kind of also give us some information on how can we, as those that do have access to, say, information or health care, disperse it to those in, say, rural areas or areas that have less adequate access.
Okay, we'll start with the tips first. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I would like you to move more. Okay? Every day if possible. So dance, Zumba, exercise, walk, whatever you like to do, just get moving.
Okay.
The other thing is eat better foods that are rich in fruits and vegetables, more salmon in the diet. The American Heart Association says twice a week at least. It's a fatty fish, and the wild-caught products are better than the farm-raised. That's another subject. But wild-caught salmon has a good source of omega-3s, which are good for the heart, good for cholesterol. So you want the omega-3s in a diet. So salmon, fresh tuna, there's haddock that you can try, mackerel you can try, but soak the mackerel so it's not salty for those with high blood pressure. There's herbs, natural herbs you can use. Garlic is good. Limes are good. Instead of adding salt to your fish and vegetables, put some lemon juice or lime, you know. Bake, broil, grill lean portions of the meat. All right. And going back to the herbs, I should have stayed on that trend first. Because now my Jamaican side is coming out. So, ginger is good. Lime is good. Garlic is good. And how can you season your meats and your food without using the adobo and the Szechuan and the Goya seasonings or the salt? What you can use is Mrs. Dash and add garlic, thyme, scallion, peppers, things to flavor the foods but don't have salt in there. Now, canned products, I know some people can products, but you know what? Canning also has a lot of sodium in there. So what you need to do is learn to read the labels. Look at the serving size and look at the content of sodium in that serving size. So say for instance, what I like to do with some high school students at home is go over sodium smarts. So 2 slices of ham versus 2 slices of turkey. Now 2 slices of ham will have 700 and something milligrams of sodium a day, whereas the 2 slices of turkey will have 540 milligrams of sodium a day. And how much should we consume per day of sodium? About 1,500 milligrams of sodium to decrease our risk of heart disease. But the guidelines, dietary guidelines, say we can consume 2,300 a day. But if only 2 slices of ham has 7 something, you've already gone almost halfway into the amount of sodium to have for the day. So make healthy choices. I'm not going to take over the conversation because I could go on and on, but
we have to have you
some things.
We have to have you come back and talk about a full nutrition segment.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And now going to resources.
Yes.
Please follow up with your doctor on a regular basis. Have your well visits. once a year.
Okay.
Okay, and if you have the well visits and something is found when the blood work is done, then you may have to come back maybe 2 times a year or maybe 3 times until things are controlled. Because during a well visit, what they're going to check is your cholesterol. They're going to check your kidney functions, your liver functions, see how your heart is functioning. You know, they'll get all of your history and see if there are other things that need to be looked into so that you are well overall, you know. And if you know what's going on in your body, then you're better able to gauge, is my risk high for heart disease, or how can I decrease my risk for heart disease?
Okay.
And then once you know that, you can also help your loved ones to also, maybe if they don't want to go to the doctor, maybe you can go along with them.
Okay.
And say, I'll come with you. I'll ask the questions. You know, we have this in our family, so you need to get this checked out.
That's right.
So we're taking care of each other. We're a family, you know, so look out for each other, know the signs and symptoms. And if you know the signs and symptoms, let others know the signs and symptoms. And one of the things that I like to say to high school and junior high school students are that you're not too young to make a difference. And if your parent or your grandparent has high blood pressure, you know what? I've taught them how to take a blood pressure and what foods are maybe higher in sodium, so that maybe we can say, hey mom, hey dad, can we try this instead? Or can we do that instead? Or let's check your blood pressure. These are the signs and symptoms. I think maybe you're having a heart attack if they have those symptoms, so they know also. It's a whole family thing. We're taking care of everybody in the family. So know your numbers, eat right, make healthy choices early.
Okay.
Move more, and that's all I can say. I can go on and on, but thank you for having me.
No, we'll be right back. We have another segment, so don't go anywhere.
You're listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
We're back with Money Matters. I'm Alfred Edmond Jr. You want to stop living from paycheck to paycheck. Here are some things you can do to change that. Start with accounting for all of your expenses and debts and put together a monthly household budget and spending plan. Then focus on cutting costs and looking for ways to bring in extra cash. There are only 2 ways to increase cash flow: reduce expenses and increase income. Learn to do without nice-to-haves so you can have the must-haves. Be willing to take on a second or third job, start a side business, or do freelance work. See what you own that you could either save money by getting rid of it or even make money by selling it. Use the resulting savings or income to get rid of debt. 2 major expenses to consider: housing and transportation. Consider moving to a less expensive living space or taking in a roommate or boarder. To stop living from paycheck to paycheck, your income must exceed your expenses. I'm Alfred Edmond Jr. for Money Matters, a product of American Urban Radio Networks.
Money Matters is made possible by the Jonesboro Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, a nonprofit organization dedicated to uncompromising commitment to communities, service, leadership, empowerment. www.jonesboroalumnidst.org.
Money Matters is brought to you by Bancorp South, offering checking, savings, loans, credit cards, and wealth management. 5 locations in Jonesboro to serve you. www.bancorpsouth.com or 870-972-9800.
The key to making this station even better could be parked in your driveway right now. Donate your old car to us. You'll get a tax deduction, and we'll tow it away for free.
Go to klekfm.org for more information.
House of Details, located at 3217 Herb Street, Suite C, is a proud supporter of KLEK, offering detailing on any type of vehicle: waxing, clear coat protection, basic wash, hand wash, shampoo, interior cleaning, buffering, headlight restoration, pickup, delivery, and more. With a motto of, anything mean, we can clean. Details available via Quentin Bogard at 870-273-5187. House of Details on Facebook and houseofdetailsjonesboro.com.
And now back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
All right, welcome back to our last segment of Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We're speaking with Dr. Andrea Watson from NYIT that's located on the campus of Arkansas State University, and we're talking about all things heart health. Dr. Andrea has been really giving us a lot of information, and I can tell she's very passionate about this topic and, you know, all things in the medical field, but she's very passionate about this, and thank you so much for sharing. And, you know, I know we left off with the break, you giving us some tips on some things to do, and go to your doctor. That's like key. Along with changing your diet and moving your body, but you have to talk to your doctor if you feel like something's wrong. And I'm preaching to myself because I was one of those people, and still kind of am. I need to be knocking on death's door. Like, I just need to be at the lowest of the low points. Okay, I'm going to the doctor. I hate it. I was one of those people that I don't feel bad, so why am I going to the doctor? I was one of those people, and so life has dealt me some different hands, and I've had to make some changes and start going to the doctor more. But I'm trying to do better. I'm trying to do better.
I'm proud of you that you're trying to do better. But prevention is cure. Better than cure.
Okay.
All right. So that's why we're thinking that, or saying that going to the doctor is important, because even if you don't feel sick or feel anything, where there are different preventative measures or things that are looked into to see if you are at increased risk, or since there are some things that don't have symptoms, then maybe the testing could potentially indicate that something may not be as well as you think, or there may be some things that we need to work on. So see your doctors, know your numbers, know your blood pressure, know your cholesterol, know if you're diabetic, because diabetics are at increased risk for heart events. So that's very important, you know.
Now, one thing I want to tell people, this is not to replace your doctor, but there is a website, the American Heart Health website. So go on there, on the website, and maybe look up, go on the website and look up some more information. And so that way, when you do go to your doctor, you can be a little more informed and kind of keep the process. I don't want to say speed the process up, but when you show your doctor, you know a little bit of something, and that makes him or her know that you're serious about your health. When you go in there with some notes and you're prepared for a discussion with your doctor, so
have that dialogue with your doctor.
Yes, it's time for us to start opening up. And be more vocal about our health. We only get one body. That's true. And you want it to last as long as possible.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All right. So, any final words, Doctor? We still have like about 3 minutes, so I want to give you the opportunity to share as much information as possible. I'm going to do less talking.
Okay, no. I thank you actually for having me here today, and I am passionate about women heart disease.
Okay.
That's something I'm really passionate about. Men, it's not that I'm discriminating, but there is heart disease in my family, and on both sides, but there's personal and family history of heart disease. So it's something that's important to me to go out there and talk to people about how they can prevent, how they should know the risk factors, what to do about the risk factors, what to do to take control of your life, so that even if you do have heart disease, you can still live a normal life and a healthy life. So you know what? Take care of you in all aspects, mind, body, and spirit. Move more, eat better foods, and even if you're hungry and you see that McDonald's on the way, maybe if you have to stop at the McDonald's, choose maybe a salad or something healthier. Learn to read the labels of your food products, please. That's so important, because we don't realize that there are serving sizes sizes on those labels. And usually, say for instance, it's a drink. It's 8 ounces. That's the serving size. And that's what the number of sodium is going to pertain to. Forgive me, I'm using beverages as pertaining to sodium, even though diet sodas do have sodium in there. But let's move on. The sodium content that you see on that label only pertains to that 8 ounce serving size.
Oh, wow.
So if you have, say, 2 glasses, which is 16 ounces, you should double that number of sodium on your label that you've just read. Note that canned products also have more sodium because salt is a preservative.
Okay.
So they're going to put salt in there to preserve things, so choose lower sodium choices, make lower sodium choices would be best. Fresh vegetables, fresh fruits. If you have to do frozen, it's okay, but be aware that you should be looking at how much sodium you're consuming every day. All right. Another thing, bread has a lot of sodium in there, and flour products have a lot of sodium in there. So be aware of how much of that you're consuming per day, because the American Heart Association does recommend that below 1,500 milligrams of sodium a day is good, but the dietary guidelines do say 2,300. But what do I tell my patients with high blood pressure? Shoot for under 1,500 milligrams of sodium daily. Okay? Drink your water. Hydration is key. Okay? Water. Don't overload yourself.
Okay.
But water is important. And why should you go to the doctor based on that? Because we want to make sure your kidneys are functioning, so when you're taking in that water, your kidney can do what it needs to do, okay? So we don't want to overwork your kidneys either. But please take care of your hearts. We only have one heart, and make the right choices early in life. So even teach your children, say, instead of that candy, maybe have an apple.
Okay.
Instead of that chocolate, maybe have some blueberries.
Oh.
Maybe, the other day I bought some berries. I wanted some snacks and I was craving something sweet. But what did I buy? Some blackberries.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So the berries are good. All right. There are pomegranates for those of you who like that and are a little more fancy. Pomegranates are good too. All right. Raspberries. Those things are good. Nuts, almonds are great for heart health, and they have a lot of fiber and antioxidants. So flaxseed is also good.
Oh, wow.
Almonds are good. There's a lot of things that are out there that are really good that we can substitute for some of the unhealthy choices that we have.
Okay.
And you know what? Rome, again, was not built in a day. We're all a work in progress, and we're striving to get to that perfected goal that we're trying to set for ourselves. All right? So thank you so much, and I wish you all the best and stay heart healthy.
All right, thank you so much. And I want to give you all some extra information for those of you concerned, well, I can't afford this, I can't afford to eat this way or eat that way. Here in Jonesboro, there's a program. It's through the University of Arkansas. It's called the Expanded Food and Nutrition Education Program. And the office is located at 611 East Washington. Give them a call or go by. Again, this is U of A, FNEP, EFNEP, Craighead County. Most people would call it, it used to be under UAMS. Anyway, the extension office. Most people know it as the extension office. Go by there, get some information, set up a class for the community, so that way you can learn some healthier ways to eat and some cost-effective ways to eat healthier. So there is information available, there are options available, and it can be done. So I can't thank you all enough. Thank you, Dr. Watson, for joining me. I hope everyone has a great day. I don't know if it's still raining, but try to stay dry, stay warm. Have a very blessed day, you all. And don't forget to tune in tomorrow. My guest will be Jerry Walker. He will be here talking about his new devotional book, and I am looking forward to that. Have a great day.
Thank you for listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102. A program focusing on the people working to make the Jonesboro community a better place while offering viewpoints from all sides of the issues. The views expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of KLEK.